Why did I start this channel and thriving in midlife? Let's talk about that today. This is Graciously Gloria. Thanks for joining. Let's start with a little bit more of background. So I am 54 right now, and when I started the channel, then I was 53. So here in my midlife, and had gone through, going through menopause, and now I would consider myself postmenopausal, but you then are postmenopausal for the rest of your life. So when I was in perimenopause, I just felt like it was just such a tough time. So many things were happening, and it changes you psychologically, physiologically. So you have emotional changes, physical changes, so many different things going on in your body. And it was challenging. So I wanted to take the time really to learn about my own health. And I feel like we are not as educated on women's health, and a lot of doctors aren't either. And so I find the more information that I learn, I find that empowering. So I took that time and dedication to learn things and start to apply them in my life. I was really, struggling because midlife is such a time of transition. So you have, your kids are getting older, perhaps, depends on, when you had the kids or if you had kids. And that's, some different changes for me. I was going through, now my kids are starting to adult, but how much do they need me now? How much do they not want me to be involved? Because I need to let them be adults and make their own choices and have their own successes and failures in life. And still be a good support system for them, but at the same time, back off a bit as well, if that makes sense. So I was finding myself, with more time on my hands, more energy perhaps to devote to something different. And at the same time, I was in a career where, I was utilizing my communication skills, my organizational skills, these different skills that I have, but I felt not satisfied in my career and felt, rather stuck. And it was really my good friend, Erin, and my daughter who kept encouraging me and saying, my friend said, Gloria, I think this is something you could do. And my daughter kept saying, Mom, I think you should start a YouTube channel because I think you have a lot of great information to share, and it would be a really great outlet for you to use your creativity and to help other people, because I really love helping other people, particularly women. And I think that there's so much negativity out in this world. So there's so many difficulties in this world, different things coming at us, different things that are out of our control. And I thought this is something that I could do and make hopefully a positive impact. So I wanted to do this because I really do care about other people genuinely. And I really wanted to have an opportunity to share what I've learned and to help inspire and educate others, and really share my interests of what I know and what I'm learning about as well. Things related to women's health, which I think is really important, fashion, makeup, skincare, travel, all these different aspects of my life, and how can I share those with other women to encourage and inspire you all. So I hope that you guys are getting a lot out of my content. I'm excited to see, it grow. And the biggest compliment you could give me is to share my channel with somebody else that you know and that they may be interested and subscribe to my channel to build it. And so that is a goal of mine, to build my channel and build this community that I've started here. So I appreciate each and every one of you who watch my content, who comment on it, who share the content. It means so much to me that you take some kind of value out of it and that you can be, part of this community, because, I do this as a way to kind of give back to others. And at the same time, I am getting something from it because I am really enjoying doing this. It does take a lot of time and effort to prepare content, to film it, to edit it. Edit it is a long process. And then to put it out there is a little nerve-wracking as well, because you just don't know perhaps how you will be received. And I appreciate the warmth that I've received from people back on the information that I have shared. I think for my travel content, I perhaps may end up over time breaking that off into a separate channel and just focus on travel. I'm not sure how that's going to play out, but I really love traveling and want to be able to share with you some ideas on how to prepare for travel and different places I've gone to, and tips and things that I enjoyed there that you perhaps would enjoy to make it easier for your planning process. Planning is something I know I really enjoy, and I know a lot of people out there like to travel, but just can be overwhelming to people on what to pack, how to plan itineraries for those particular places, what to see and do while you're there. So that's why I like to share that passion of mine to travel and just make it easier for you with what I found and what's worked for me. And I'm hoping that information is going to help you enjoy it. And sometimes it's just fun to watch a video, even if you don't plan on going to that location, just kind of to learn a little bit more about that particular location. I watch videos like that just to kind of inspire me on different locations and what's out there as a potential opportunity of a place to go visit. So that's a little bit about the travel. As far as like the fashion goes, I, as a child, loved the fashion plates. That was one of my favorite toys. I don't know if you guys remember that from the 70s, but there were these little plates and you could mix and match different tops and bottoms and make your kind of own designs that way, and in color with color pencils in different ways to embellish the outfit and pick the design there. And that was just so fun to me. And I also really loved my Barbie, because Barbie can be anything, and that Barbie could have lots of different fun outfits to enjoy her day and kind of take on the world. So I think, as women, we really have an opportunity to thrive in midlife. It doesn't have to be like, oh gosh, all these things are ending. Perhaps our childbearing has come to a different stage. We're empty nesters, so that feels like it's ending or just transitioning in a way, right? Perhaps we're getting later on our career, so we feel like, where are we at in our career satisfaction? Is that something we still want to do? Or do we want to switch and do something different? Uh, considering that. And I just find midlife, you might be struggling to, perhaps you are a caregiver to your parents, which now that's a different role that you're taking on. And for me personally, unfortunately, both my parents have passed away. So I was very young when my mother passed away. I was only 21. So, I did have to take on things in a different way. I feel like my parents did prepare me to adult and take on responsibility. And I felt like through my different years as a child and a teen, they prepared me more to take on responsibility of doing something and doing it well. And they always taught me that I was capable. And my dad always told me, you're beautiful, intelligent, and you can do anything in this world. And I find that not a lot of women are encouraged in that way in their childhood by their parents. I really had super wonderful parents. I was very, very blessed. So, I want to kind of be able to help inspire others and really let women know the value that each person has. Like, you each have so much value and so much to contribute to this world. And you're in perhaps in your midlife too, like me. And I want you to know that you can thrive, and we're all in this together. It's like, I don't have all the answers either. I don't want it to come off that I'm like, oh, I know everything. No, I'm still learning. And that's another thing my dad taught me, to be constantly a student of learning and never feel like you know everything. And the more you know, he told me, the more you realize you need to know. So you can always be learning. And I just find it to be fascinating if we keep taking on that attitude of life, just to be fascinated with learning new things and also being grateful. I feel like my mother taught me so much too, how to be grateful and also to just appreciate the small pleasures of life, just the simple things. So I hope I bring that kind of joy to you all, just appreciating just different things and getting excited about the different things that I talk about, because that's just also in my nature, and kind of, I feel like my mother taught me that. And also, my mother taught me how to be gracious. I named this channel also Graciously Gloria, and that is kind of ode to my mother. And I feel like she epitomized graciousness to me, and was always just so kind, so considerate, just the most outstanding human being. And I miss her so much. And if I talk too much about it, I'll start to cry. So it's been many years since she passed away, but I still miss her every day. So I feel like one way I can honor her is just by the person that I am today, and what I have taught my kids, and the mother that I really tried to be, and continue to try to thrive to be a really good mother, and caring, and kind, and teach love, and, teach them just the joy of life. And life can be so joyful. And even when we go through struggles, and perhaps I'll make a whole nother video a little bit more about like different health challenges I've had through, and struggles in that way, and overcoming different things, and sharing a little bit more about that. I just think that, yeah, that's kind of my goal of doing all of this. Going back about fashion, I get so excited about dressing up, and just like, I really like this channel by Kay, Dressing for Your Day, and it does make you feel better to dress up. It's just, you're kind of greeting your day in that way, and just that extra care for yourself. It doesn't have to be like, oh, you have to dress perfectly to impress the whole world. No, it really is more about, if that makes you feel good, wear what makes you feel good. And I think that also looking on trend, and it doesn't have to be trendy, but on trend of like at the times, helps us feel better. And also just, having nice stylish outfits that are not super expensive, that really could be affordable for the everyday woman like me. I think that just, I want to share that information just to help you have ideas of what you might like to wear. And doesn't mean like you need to wear this. And we all have different body shapes and different preferences on colors. And I share with you, I really like a lot of bright colors, but I also like the neutral palette too. But just finding the thing that really, the outfits that bring you joy to walk around in this world, and what you're going to wear at home, what you're going to wear out in the world. And um, it's going to make you feel good presenting yourself. And there's no, again, I think that there's a lot of rules out there of like, do this or that. I try to share different ideas with you, with like, this might go well with that, and give that a go. Things that have worked for me. But again, I don't think there's some hard and fast rules of like, you must do only this certain way when you dress. As far as makeup, I used to sell makeup back in the day, so I am just interested in makeup. Again, I'm not a professional makeup artist, but I like to share different things, products that work for me, or different tips and tricks that I've learned. I also really care about skincare and taking care of your skin, so that's why I like to talk about that. And I think in midlife, if it's something we hadn't done in our younger years, which is an opportunity to start it when you're younger and kind of continue it on to take care of your skin. Again, part of taking care of my skin is just that self-care that I think we each deserve to take that time to pamper ourselves. But I also like presenting myself in a certain way, and I like the anti-aging. And it, again, is a privilege to be able to age. So I'm not trying to look like I'm 20 when I'm in my 50s. I just want to look at my best version of what my 50s possibly could be, with just doing some simple things, not really expensive treatments, but something I find like, in the mid range of inexpensive to like a mid price thing to take care of my skin. And as well, so important to me about sun protection because of my skin cancer. So I am very passionate about sharing that with you all, about things that I have learned to help protect your skin, which actually does do anti-aging and protects your skin from the damage that the sun can do. On the flip side, I always tell you, I'm a huge fan of getting outside. I think it's super great for your mental health. So I still really encourage people to not be afraid to get outside, and like to share that with you all. And just like I said, women's health, I find that it's just a really an area of interest. I've always been interested in nutrition and health. I remember in college that nutrition was one of my favorite classes. And when I got to pick one of my electives, I picked aerobics just because I've always loved dancing and just find a lot of joy in dancing and moving. And so like to share with you guys different things that I'm doing, like the rebounder, which was a newer thing for me in the last year, different things that I do to help myself stay in good health, because I really want to be able to take care of myself. And as I age, I want to be able to do the things that I would like to do. And so I'm wishing that for all of you. And that is part of taking care of ourselves health wise, allows us to feel better. And when we feel better, it helps us then to be there for the other people in our lives that we love, that we want to be able to be there for. Just we can show up for them in all kinds of ways by being able to take care of ourselves. And I would say that my mother was fabulous, so grateful. But the one thing that I did see she didn't do as much was taking care of herself. I think that she gave so much to other people all the time, and that was in her nature to be a very giving person, which is so admirable. But at the same time, I wish she took a little bit more time to take care of her own self, because that's really important too. And so that's something that I'm trying to change. And I want to be a good example to my children, and particularly to my daughter as a woman. I want to show her you can be in midlife and you can still be thriving. And I don't want her to have the same menopause experience I had. And like I said, once I learned things, I incorporated things, and it improved my menopause experience. And you can check out the whole video on my menopause journey. And I'll probably do an update this year in 26 for you on how is it going with my menopausal hair loss and my menopause journey, and any changes and updates there. But want her to empower her with information so that she can thrive throughout her whole life, because I at some point won't be here to give her information and that encouragement. And so I also, so important for me to for my kids to know how much I love them, and how much I hope and dream for them to have such a life filled with joy and possibilities and fulfillment, and in all kinds of ways. So hopefully my channel, this is something that maybe they'll watch later and be able to see a little bit more about me too. And because I think they know me so much as mom and different things, and some other ways to connect with them through this, creating this content. But yeah, so I think in my videos, I'm going to just keep on making more videos about this midlife journey for women. And I am so glad you guys are along with me for this journey. And I will continue to share content with you on different things that I find and learn and know, and things that I'm in the process of learning and growing, and ways that I'm growing and kind of overcoming any challenges that I might have within my life. And uh, just so grateful for this opportunity to do this. And thanks again. And I hope that you all subscribe to this channel and share my information with others. I have lots of videos out there so far on fashion, skincare, sun care, women's health, exercise, nutrition, and travel, which is a big passion of mine. And so I hope you guys are getting a lot out of this, and others that watch this will too. There'll be valuable information for others too. And we're all in this midlife journey together, and nobody is alone. And want you all to feel that kind of camaraderie, that none of you are alone, and that everybody, each one of you, has so much value and so much that you can give to this world. And just taking that moment to care for yourself really helps you to give back to other people. And and thrive. I just want us to all feel like we can thrive in this midlife and any challenges that are thrown away, because life can be very challenging, that we can get through it and continue to grow and thrive throughout this midlife journey.